All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bahashim,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Bahashem,
Bahashim,
Rakakwadash.
Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations and many blessings to you, elect Akim, across the four winds of this earth, kicking this word in sincerity and in truth. And as you see the title on there, the title is Job 30. And what we about to do through the Spirit, we about to go into it, man. Because we still see out here a lot of you other people, a lot of you Edomites, you other nations, you still don't believe this Bible. This Bible talks about you in a very negative light. You still don't believe that you're the wicked of the Bible. All right, the wicked of the Bible is spoken of in the Bible, and they have certain characteristics that are written there, so we'll be able to see who they are, man. And yes, you so-called white people, man, you Edomites are the wicked according to the Bible. Okay, it's only so much higher you can do. And we see the devil bubbling up in these guys, man, to the point when they come up to the camps. All right, you had the news unit guy did a long lesson that was whack as hell. Didn't know what he was talking about, and when brothers was bringing up points, he didn't want to say them. He wanted to always go to the beginning of the chapter, read through it. But we mentioned Job 30. You ain't want to read through that, and when he tried to, man, you fumbled the ball on the 99-yard line, on the opposite side of the field. So we finna go into Job 30 and we finna do the correct breakdown, all right, through the Spirit to show you what it actually means, and that yes, it's talking about you so-called white people. All right, so we're gonna start from the top.
Job 31. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision.
Yeah, because naturally, ultimately, they are younger than us, man, even though they did come out first. All right, but hey, man, the scriptures talk about us being the firstborn still, man. All right, and the firstborn is the one who's ultimately supposed to get the inheritance from the Father. Okay, so yes, they that are younger than I have me in derision. All right, and when you look at us, the state of our people are in derision, man. All confused, eating food, sacrificing to idols, eating swine's flesh. All right, and when you talk about this devil, the so-called white man, who he is, our people are the main ones that come up against us. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. Just in the camp, just in the camp earlier over there, we was talking, and we was going into the so-called white man, and the Issacharite, which he was cool. He came up in a cool spirit, but he tried to, pull me to the side and pretty much say, man, this is right what y'all are talking about, but you think the hostility is too extreme? It's like, man, look what this nigga doing to y'all on the daily, man. Actually doing it. All right, that's to the extreme. We just talking what the scriptures say. All right.
I had a definition of derision.
Okay.
It says derision in the Merriam Dictionary, the use of ridicule or scorn to show contempt. A state of being laughed at or ridiculed, a state of being derided.
Mm-hmm. And even when you go into Jake, that's on a so-called superficial level, man. All right, there'll be celebrities, NBA players, NFL players. They make certain music, and the music be whack as hell, but you got Edomites singing along to it. You know what I'm saying? Raindrop, drop top. And it might look like, and they think it's cool, they listen to your music, but really it's a laughing stock, man.
That's right.
This makes you look like a laughing stock. All right? Now y'all got colorful dreadlocks and Skittles grills in your mouths, looking crazy. And lo and behold, you think it's cool that you getting paid for it, man. But like the brother said, you getting laughed at, man. Ridiculed for it.
Like I say this, you can see a perfect example in the movie, pretty much everybody probably seen Blood and Bone by Michael John White. When the guy that was trying to get in the fight for him, he was trying to get a seat at the table with the higher up Edomites. He was getting rid of him like, man, we're just the pawns for you, pretty much, so to speak. He's like, you're right. So we're practically entertained by your high-flying animalistic acrobatics. And he said, do you set a place for your dogs at your table? And so that's pretty much how those Edomites really look at you, man. We're nothing but entertainment to them.
Right. Beautiful point.
Who fathers I would have disdained to have set the dogs of my flock.
Yeah, man. Now, when you read that yesterday, man, you just breezed right on through that. And then the way you was reading was just thought through. Dogs set at my flock. And you kept going. No, man, this goes into we ain't even supposed to let our animals be around y'all, man. Right. All right, look what y'all do around animals. Like, you legalize bestiality in a number of states over here in America. And when you do have a dog in your possession, man, you'll do all types of freaky stuff to it. There was an Edomite that I knew growing up when I was young. I was in like middle school, and he went by the name of Matt Roach. His last name was even Roach. You know what I'm saying? And he would come to my crib. We had a trampoline and everything. Throw the football. You know what I'm saying? And my dog, he called my dog over there and he held his mouth open and let my dog lick in his mouth. I'd be like, man, Kobe, man, get away from what you doing, man? Just let him lick all up in his mouth. And he's like, hey, yeah, man, dogs had to clean his mouths, man. You know, it's the reason why so-called white people like to use that logic of dogs having clean mouths, man.
And Jake ran with it.
They ran with it. So they can just justify all types of crazy madness that they like to do with those animals. Come on.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel.
Yeah, man, and you do all types of crazy stuff to your animals. All right? You're supposed to take care of your animals, but you'll try to have sex with your animal, man.
Put them in a horrible situation.
No, even these habitats of that nature, they try to call themselves saving these animals, but they're doing all types of wicked things to these animals, man. They call themselves merciful. They're wicked as hell to them, man. Cruel as hell, man. To where they even like that. That's why they came with that documentary Blackfish. About just black whales and SeaWorld, man. You know, they're jacking them out, trying to reproduce.
Right.
And then they're so caught up in captivity down to where their fins will be straight up. A lot of their fins are curled over, man.
Right.
You know, that's why they came up with that documentary, because they call themselves being merciful, but they're cruel as hell to these animals, man.
That's right.
You know?
Gone.
This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
That literally says it itself, man. A fornicator, profane person. You know, and it's talking about Esau.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't allow him to sit with our dogs, because he's a fornicator and he's profane.
That's right.
He'll try to think of any type of crazy thing to do to your animal, man. Worse, do to you. All right, remember we were in captivity under these devils, man, the type of heinous things that they've done? But everybody wants us to come together and be with them. No, man. The scriptures prescribes them to be the worst nation of people on the planet Earth. So bad, they got to get put in slavery for 1,000 years and burnt the hell up, man. You know?
Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
Yeah, man. Ultimately, he didn't give a damn about the blessing anyway. You know, that's why he was able to trade it for raw meat and lentils, man.
That's right.
You know, if it was something that you've longed for and wanted and knew it was going to benefit your family and was willing to suffer for it, you would have done it, man. You know, and Edomites are always the main ones that like to cry about something right after they've committed an offense, man. You'll commit an offense and you'll cry about it right afterward and try to plead innocent, man. But lo and behold, you got blood all over your hands. You know? Was it going that
No, listen.
Okay, we can get back to this Job 30. I don't want, you know, we ain't got time to
Verse 2. Verse 2. Job 30 and 2. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished.
Go ahead.
For want and famine they were solitary, flying into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste.
And that's what actually happened, man. All right, when the Byzantine Empire first started, man, we rounded you Edomites up and we threw y'all in the caves. All right, you were already a nasty bunch of people on the planet Earth anyway, but y'all got thrown in the caves right afterward. That's why y'all go by the name Caucasian. All right, that's where Caucasian comes from, Caucasus Mountains. All right, you were the original caveman. And Apostle Gabar did a video going into it last week, and there was actually a caveman walking around and looking. He's like, man, he was like Donald Trump for real, man. You know, you are actually the descendants of the cavemen. All right, if you want to compare somebody to a monkey and call him a monkey, and I say them jokingly, of course, I know evolution is not real, but I say, man, you probably be the closest in comparison to him than us. You know, you live like him, man. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Who cut up morsels by the bushes and juniper roots from their meat for their meat.
Go ahead.
They were driven forth from among men.
And that's what happened. They was driven forth from among men. All right, so they was rounded up and put in captivity for those thousands of years. You know, matter of fact, can you put it up in Revelation real quick, Bible show Revelation chapter 20? All right, because this had actually taken place again around the time of the Byzantine Empire, but you had that roundup taking place around the time of Septimius Severus and Marcus Aurelius when Jake started ruling Rome. All right, because before them, it was Edomites that was ruling Rome for periods of times. All right, but hey, this prophecy had to be taking place, man. We had to come into that rulership for 1,000 years. You know, Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on that dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Yeah, man. So the devil, the so-called white man, Satan, was bound up, all right, for 1,000 years. That means he was going and he went into slavery. A lot of you people will read this and have you feeling like we're going to be in heaven for 1,000 years and we're going to be chilling. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's going to break loose from his chains and commit more things on the planet Earth. Oh, man, when the kingdom of heaven comes, the kingdom of heaven comes. And the scriptures talk about that. When Israelites are ruling, all right, they're going to be ruling. That's why the scriptures say in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, all right, their swords shall turn into pruning hooks and their spears and their spears into plows. Okay, meaning they're not going to lift up another weapon of war. But if the Edomites come back out of slavery afterward during the kingdom of heaven, of course, the first thing they're going to do is resort back to their weapon, man.
That's right.
So that shows that your breakdown on Revelation 20 is invalid, man. This is going into a period of time where you devils was taken. And that's why it's in the Job, the 30th chapter. Let's read that. That's cool on that one. We can read that in Malachi 1. We can go back to Job.
This is Malachi chapter 1, starting at verse 1. The burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith Yahweh. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith Yahweh. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste.
Laid his mountains and his heritage waste, man. All right. And ultimately, when you go into Esau for real, because he was thrown into the caves, but he was always a beast-like man.
That's right.
That's why you read about it in Genesis, the 27th chapter. And went into Esau like to be among the wilderness,
right.
and Jacob like to chill in his tent. And when Esau was among the wilderness, that's how he learned how to hunt. All right, he probably poured piss on him to smell like certain animals to hunt them in. You see them devils, they do that right now. But even when you go into their habitation, before they was even thrown into the Caucasus Mountains, they had a land that they ruled, pretty much part of their inheritance, which was called the Valley of, which is called Zin. All right, and when you go into the land of Zin, it actually had the notoriety of being a dark, gloomy, mountainy place that nobody wanted to dwell.
And that's where the children of Israel had to pass through.
Exactly.
In order to get to the promised land.
That's right.
And that area was just a whole vast nothing, man. Actually, we tried to pass through their land, they didn't allow us.
That's
So
right.
We ended up going through the wilderness of Zin, like you said.
That's right. That's right. It was so bad, man. That had Jake looking back like, man, we missed them onions in Egypt. You think we should go back? And it's funny, being amongst Edomites, being amongst the land in Edom, Jake started receiving hella doubt, man.
Yep.
Not saying that was the first account of them receiving doubt, you know, but hey, Jake received an immense amount of doubt being among them Edomites. And you see it today, all right? But Esau always had the MO of living in caves and being gloomy and all of that, man.
Look at Tina.
That's right. That's right.
Look at Petra, thank you, which I think is a Tina.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But if you look at Petra, it basically looks like apartments.
Yep.
It's just literally like like what you see like as apartment, just basically carved out of a mountain. Man. See what I'm saying?
Yep. Like a city of high-rise buildings and apartment lines.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, it's a little more than Malachi.
Back in verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains waste. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts.
Yeah, they understood the fact they was through. You know what I'm saying? But they made a promise saying that they was going to go back and rebuild, man.
That's right.
Like when you go into that curse, going into that serpent in Genesis, the 3rd chapter.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It talks about how he's going to be cursed and eat up the dust of the ground, man.
That's right.
So he was going to be brought down. But when you actually go into the history of it, man, and read it in Revelation, the 12th chapter, it talked about how that dragon had turned, how that serpent had turned back into a dragon, man.
That's right.
All right, because his feet was cut off and he was humbled. But hey, guess what, man? He still received power again, man.
That's right. That's right.
And this time the head's going to be destroyed.
That's right.
You know, that's why you read it in Genesis, it says, it shall bruise thy heel, but thou shalt bruise its heel, and the it being us, but it shall bruise thy head. So the end all be all is y'all going back into captivity, man. But when you read it in Job, the 30th chapter, and going into that in Malachi, that goes on when those Edomites were taken into the Caucasus Mountains, man. All right. Did you have a precept? That's it.
Just for edification, Petra is in Jordan. So like I said, 10 minutes in Jordan. It's one of, you know, it's one of the great.
Back when the brother was said they were being taken down, but they came back into power eventually for a short period. Genesis 27, verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "This is the blessing of Esau. Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." Okay, and so what they're talking about, man? Talking about the brother, talking about when we had them in captivity, moved them into those mountains, in that 1,000 years of slavery. Okay, then they came back. What? It was called the Renaissance period, man.
That's right.
Okay, to rule. So we broke that yoke off at that time, and then also at the time of King David.
That's right.
He was demolishing those Edomites.
That's right.
And then after the death of King Solomon, that's when those Edomites started to rise back up.
That's right. Straight up.
Beautiful point. Back in Job 30 and verse 5, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and causes of the earth and in the rocks.
So they dwelt in the rocks. All right. So really, a logical person will ask, man, that sounds like a caveman. If it's talking about a nation, not just a person, but a nation of people that had moved to the rocks. You know, you got some assholes that'll be out there. Well, you have certain sections, certain people that live in rocks, and they, well, oh, no, man. We talking about a whole nation of people that was moved to that location, man. All right. When you think of people living in rocks and caves, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? A caveman. And when you go type in caveman, they got the same complexion as y'all, just a little more hair on your face. Y'all just groomed cavemen now. You know, that's all it is.
Shake the hair off their back.
Yeah, when you let your back and your underarms go for a minute, man, you gonna really look like a monkey.
Yeah, you Encino man. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Brendan Fraser had all that hair growing out. Bring the image. You know that Geico caveman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Among the bushes they brave.
That's what that's going into, man. The brain is more of a horse-like sound. And what a horse is known for. Brand, man. These people are low level, man. All right? And we're going to keep on going into it, man, because you broke it down terribly. You tried and just gave up, man. All right? It's the reason why brothers kept posting on that comment board, Job 30, Isaiah 14. You know, and we going in context. We're going all the way from the top.
That's right.
We starting from there. All right? Hopefully you see this, man. And even if you do see it, you still ain't going to receive it, man, because you a devil. You Edomite.
It matter.
That's right. But this only sounds like y'all.
Yeah.
What other classification of people on the planet Earth fits this description right here? Come on, we'll wait. You got it, right?
Under the nestles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men.
Children of base men. What does that word base mean, man? Matter of fact, can you pull that up in Genesis the 3rd chapter really quick about the curse that was given unto the serpent? All right, because you go into a base man. And when you go into a base man, it's a very low-level individual, man. Somebody who has a low-level way of thinking, a low-level way of life, a low-level way. I mean, you look at the people who rule the world now, they're Edomites, and they rule the world in a very low-level fashion, man. That's very impulsive, very childish. And everybody has a state of death now because of your rulership, man. Everything's mourning, the trees are dying. Everything about you devils are low-level, man. All right, we're going to read this in Genesis the 3rd chapter real quick, just to go how the scriptures say that they were chosen of fools, children of base men.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. And Yahweh, Bashem Yahshua power, said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle.
Yeah, that's why animals die in the rulership. You know, and then another thing, the reason why the cattle's cursed, because you be, like we all was going into earlier, man, you be killing the animals you be having, man. In your zoos, the whales are sad. You cut a window in the side of your cow, just so you can see how his organs are working. Come on, man. Everything's in a state of mourning with you in rulership. You know? And yes, this serpent is talking about you. Because it's funny, you brought this out in Genesis, man. This is talking about you. You know, you are that serpent it's going into. Your people.
very influential to your people. Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life.
And where is dust usually settled at, man? Very low places. All right. He says you shall be on your belly and eat of the dust of the field, man. That means you low. So we rested on that one. So when we read this here in Job, the 30th chapter, it says children of fools. They were base men, very low men that's cursed. All right, eating of the dust of the field. And also dust represents confusion, and you all full of that. That's why you don't know where you're going, man. You rule impulsively, you rule off confusion, and you can tell by your actions, man.
You can tell by his countenance he eats nothing but filth.
Right.
Him and what's that dude, Bob, whatever.
Oh, man.
Billy.
Yeah.
A bunch of degenerates, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, even your jokes were just crude and base. You know, they was filled with homosexual context,
Yep.
which you know is spoken about in the scriptures. You see, but you can't help it because you know you're that vile man that we're talking about.
That's right.
Job the 30th chapter is talking about you, man.
That's right. Yeah, man. You take all the makeup off of these Edomite women, and you know a lot of them have their hair down. But you take all that really away from them, and the clothing, they hideous, man. That's why they age so damn fast too. That's why they wear all that makeup. They age so fast. You got an Edomite chick that'll be 35, but she look like she's 57, man. I work with one that's 38. And if you was to ask her, if you was to assume her age, you would really think she pushing 60, man. Looks bad, all out of shape, round, gray hairs, through. And of course, that ain't for wisdom. She just through. Impoverished, man.
You got it, right? Verse 8, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth.
Yeah, man. When you go into that word viler, that's not a positive saying about an individual. It says they are more viler than the earth, man. The most vile being on the earth. It goes into sick when you go into vile, man. It goes into sick and disease stricken. All right.
And now am I their song, yea, I am their byword.
And this goes into the curses. Now, when Job is speaking that with the mindset of an elect member on the planet Earth that's living on the planet right now, man. All right, Job was prophesying. Even when you read certain situations of in the Psalms about David and how he was talking about him being oppressed. Remember, David was a king, man. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys, of course, Job was catching hell. You know what I'm saying? But he was also envisioning things that was going to happen later on to us, man. So yeah, we in the spirit of Job right now. All right, and we in the spirit of Job complaining about these individuals that were made more violent than the earth. All right, complaining about these children of fools, these base men. The fact that they ruling over us, man. But just because you're ruling over us don't mean that you've done it on your own will. It had to happen for that prophecy that the brother read in Genesis 27, going into how you would receive the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. All right, you was put on this position, man. You was brought up for prophecy's sake, man. All right, for the story of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah's sake. You other brothers got any precepts or anything? That's it on that Job 30.
What's that one scripture in Ecclesiastes? Oppression makes wise men.
Ecclesiastes 7:7. I'll bring it out for you.
No, because Ecclesiastes 7:7, if you read on it, it's going into what you was bringing out. Because it goes into how basically I've seen servants on a horse.
Oh, Ecclesiastes 10.
Ecclesiastes 10.
10 and 6.
10 and 6.
I can read it.
Kind.
7.
That's going into exactly what you're talking about.
This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 5. There's an, you know, you was right though. There's an evil which I have seen under the sun as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set at great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place.
That's right. Folly is setting great dignity here under the rulership of who? Of Edomites, man. But what are the folly that what's the folly that we see that's perpetuated here in Babylon, which we know to be you know, to be called confusion, or known to be as confusion, man. What do we see here? Well, we see women, you know, gallivanting up and down the street, half naked. Here it is, you know, it's wintertime, but these women got tight clothes on, or wearing absolutely nothing at all. That's folly, setting great dignity, man. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Confusion about sexuality. Hey, I was on Facebook. I seen a dang on homosexual man with a stud woman. Oh goodness! In reverse roles, man. She hugged up on him like he did, like she did. He's the female, man. Under whose rulership is that allowed, man? Right. It was under that's allowed under you so-called white people's rulership, if you will, man. What else do you see in great dignity? Right. You know, where you see the food defiled, man. That's right. People take pride in you being able to go get a dang on Happy Meal at 2 o'clock at night. It ain't nothing but fake food. Ooh, it's convenient. You see what I'm saying? Nachos, nacho cheese. And now go ahead.
And it's being served at the White House.
Yeah, now it's being served at the White House. Yeah. That's folly. That's folly is setting great dignity, man. You see what I'm saying? Supposedly shutting down, which we know is BS. Supposedly shutting down the government for a wall. When you spend billions of dollars on war annually, it's folly. You know? But you see all that underneath whose banner? It's so-called white man.
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead, Doc.
Verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
That's right, and that, my friends, is our plight. That word plight means our situation. You see what I'm saying? For a lack of a better term. So our plight, right now, speaking, we are in a low place. We are Yashala. What does Yashala mean? He's the prince of the power, man. You see what I'm saying? Because we went off, we're in this low state.
Right.
You see? And who's ruling over us? We had the basis of base man. Who has went to every civilization and put those people under hardcore bondage.
Right.
You know, stole their natural resources, okay? And they told them to get over it. That's who's ruling us, man. A very vile, wicked human beings. You see? But now, what's beautiful is we're able to diagnose, you know, who's the problem, man.
Right.
Hey, Job 9:24. We're able to see, man, who is causing all this problem? Because, you know, before the truth, you know, I'm sure brother would answer this question. Why is there so much wickedness on the earth? You know, and if you was a Christian, you try to stay away from race. You know, if you was in a black conscious community, you would say it was race, but you would say, you know what, we gotta be like this. You know, we gotta take on their ways, come together and do what they did. And you figure out that that's not in our spirit. You see. So then you back to answer that question. What is the answer? We're here to tell you the answer, man. The answer first is diagnosing who your enemy is, man, and coming back to the Heavenly Father.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, huh?
This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
That's right. Hey, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. You see what I'm saying? How did he do that? With a iconoclasm, painting the likeness of the images of the scriptures as himself.
That's right.
Lying about history, withholding information about history. You see, changing, removing landmarks. You know, deeming us all as Hamites, basically.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Putting himself up as if he's the top specimen on the earth.
Right.
He's the so-called white man via his what? His pseudoscience. You see what I'm saying? So he covered the faces of the judges. Who are the judges? We are the judges, man. It says in Psalms, the 82nd chapter, that ye are gods. That word God goes back to the word gods goes back to the word Elohim, which means judges, man.
Yep.
The only person that's supposed to be righteously judging this earth are the nation of Israel.
That's right.
Yasha'Allah.
That's right. That's right.
You see? So he put us in a very low state, man. And for that, he's going to have to pay.
That's right.
You see? Because, hey, guess what? We're walking up to the true understanding. So the understanding and the way of the so-called white man is being found to be very, very low. And very, very stupid, for lack of a better term, man. Hey, what's that in Jeremiah, the 49th chapter, around the 7th verse? You about to read that, huh? My man.
Jeremiah chapter 49, starting at verse 10. When I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself.
How did he make Esau bare? By telling the truth.
Yep.
That's how he's making Esau bare. And that's why you see low-level Edomites that they use the news you to get up at 5:45 and replay a video that he already played, man. And go live with the video that he already made.
Man.
He has no substance, brothers. He is a peon.
That's right. That's right.
The news unit is a peon, man.
It's leftovers constantly.
Yup. No light. He trying to come out underneath the banner of Christianity, and he's a loser at that.
Yeah, man.
You need to go study on the vocab alone. Maybe he's more clever than you.
Yeah, you don't got the juice, bro.
Yeah. Talk about Christianity, and same like talk about niggas and coons, man. You see what I'm saying? You need to catch up, bro. Contemporary Christians don't say that anymore.
Right.
You play it out, brother. Brother. You see? You and that ugly demon Bob, man. Y'all play it out, man.
Right.
And the Most High's gonna do away with you. That's why you up at night. That's why you can't stop. That's why you can't stop thinking about us, man. Because the Most High is plaguing your mind.
Your name will be Bob too, out of all names. Hillbilly Edomite Cracker, man. Yeah, it's the perfect name for your ass.
If you listen to what they were speaking like that, him declaring war on us, man, these dudes are degenerates, man. Mm-hmm. All they got is a whole bunch of gay jokes and obscenity, man.
That's right.
Talking about having sex with a woman in the anus, man. Yeah. This is a Christian that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. That we're talking about, man.
Right.
Nasty, low-level, disgusting animals, man. And the Most High's not dealing with you people.
Right. That's right.
Go ahead, Doc.
His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not.
That's right.
Leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive.
That's right.
And let thy widows trust in me.
That sounds like servitude.
Yes, sir.
That sounds like Isaiah, the 14th chapter. You see, because you have done all this wickedness, you as a people, Edomites as a whole, you've done all this wickedness. You thought that, hey, all I gotta do is, trust Jesus, and he's gonna save you. But guess what? It doesn't work like that. There's laws, the statute, commandments in which you're supposed to be abiding by. And if you don't abide by it, guess what? Your children are gonna pay for it. That's in the scriptures. Yep. You see? So guess what? Your forefathers have done all this wickedness, which, technically speaking, you are your forefathers, which is the topic. Your forefathers have done all this wickedness. Guess what? You got a bill to pay, Esau, the news unit. Yeah. It's a beautiful day, man.
That's right.
Because all that madness that you have, that your people have done, guess what? It's coming on your head, man. Go ahead.
God. That's right. There's more on that one.
There's a little bit more.
Verse 12. For thus said Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken.
That's right. That's us.
And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it.
That's right. You're not going to go unpunished, man. That's right. The Most High is going to have to where you're going to be judged. That's right. You're not going to get away from it.
That's right.
You're not going to say, my bad, y'all.
Right.
Dab everybody up, give everybody McDonald's, and that's it.
Right.
Judgments come to you, Edomites, man.
That's right.
Hey, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. The earth,
Jacob is beginning of the world, loosely paraphrasing, and Esau is the end of it. And we're coming to the point to where you Edomites are going to be in it, man.
Done. Hey, with that, Lord, let's edify. We want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ba'ashem.
double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Rulewell.